Hey guys, so today I'm going to be looking at people who had the creepiest encounters. Yeah, let's just get right into the video. A man outside a bar one night approached my girlfriend and I. He asked if we heard about the murders in New Brighton. We of course had not. He went on to explain that his girlfriend had been killed. The next morning I saw that he was arrested for killing her. What kind of psychopath is that? Are you kidding me? He killed his girlfriend and then tells strangers, have you heard about the murders? I was pregnant with my first child in 2001. Right before my due date, I was obviously really pregnant. I was shopping in Walmart and I started to notice this woman on every aisle I went on. I would guess she was in her mid-30s. When I went to the baby section to look at clothes, she started asking me questions. At first they were common, like about the gender. Then the questions started getting strange. Was I married? Did we have a house or an apartment? She commented on my accent and was curious if we had anyone in the area visiting for the birth. Just kind of odd. She wants to take the baby. Dude, so many stories about pregnant ladies getting attacked. So scary. I was young, 20, but I was married and my husband and I were both active duty, living off base in a rental house. I just told her yes, we were excited and to have a good rest of her day. She then started actually following me, telling me her husband was outside the store and they could help me take my groceries to my house. That's scary. That's when I got really nervous. I told her I was fine, thanks, that my husband was home and could help me. She then told me they had a big truck and that she would buy me a large baby item. I politely declined and she was so insistent, becoming aggressive. She then offered to buy my husband a grill since we didn't need any baby things. I was getting panicky at this point because I knew this lady was not right. I went to check out and so did she. She got out before me and I watched her race walk out of the store and sure enough, she and her husband were pulled along the curb at the front near the pop machines. They were in a beat up old yellow box truck. Husband rolls down the window and says, "We'd be happy to help you with that." I again declined and went to my car, loaded up and watched for a minute and they didn't move, just watched me. As I pulled out, they did too. I hauled ass out of there and they were only behind me for a minute or two. I still drove around crying for about 30 minutes making sure they were gone before I had to pee and needed to go home. I am now 44 and that is the first and one of just a few times that I had felt that level of fear in my life. That's so freaking scary. They wanted that baby. I just know they were gonna rip it out of her or something, you know? Because have you guys heard of that story where this lady met up with someone from, I don't know, Craigslist or something? She was trying to sell something, okay? And then the lady that she met up with literally opened her up and took the baby out. So that's why, pregnant ladies, be careful when you're meeting up with people that you don't know. That was scary. I was about 10, getting back home from the park with my sister. She being the stubborn younger, I need no sister playing mum to me. Sibling walked purposely 20 meters ahead so nobody would even think we were together. She rounds the corner and I hear a blood-curdling scream. I never covered 20 meters so fast in my life. I round the corner and there's a man holding my sister by her throat, dragging her into an open car park nearby. When he sees me advancing and yelling and he realizes there's two of us, he drops her, jumps into the car and drives off. She had fingerprint-shaped bruises on her throat for days. Dude, that sister is so lucky. So freaking lucky. Oh my gosh, now she's gonna remember that for the rest of her life because she thought she was too cool for her sister. Younger siblings, am I right? A customer came up and asked for my opinion. I recommended all the things I liked and was just super friendly. He ended up calling the store that night asking for me. The other girl I was working with didn't even offer the phone to me, just told him I had left, thank God. He came back the next day and started asking me personal questions. I was very vague and then started helping other customers. He left, came back the next day. I had to get management involved. He was standing like behind a pole just watching me. I had to be walked in my car every night for about a month. I would call my boyfriend at the time, now husband, every night on the way home and lived in an apartment building with another coworker whose husband would literally walk me to my door. Ugh, I still feel like he's watching me sometimes and this was about 4 years ago. Dude, how tough it is to be a girl just working and you have a man literally trying to stalk you. I was 17 and was in New York City. I was going from the hotel to buy some croissants near Times Square. I already knew New York City quite well, so it was normal for me to do this walk through the city. As I'm walking, I never realized someone was following me until a cop starts rapidly walking towards me from the right, and just about as the person following me was about to grab me, the cop grabs his arm and stops him. My stomach dropped and I just kept on walking, just letting the cop do his job. Thank gosh for the cop. But what the hell? I bet this happens so often that cops are literally there just to do that. Scary. I was leaving a club with my friend and happened to walk out at the same time as two very, very drunk women. They were so drunk, one of them kept saying, "Where's my phone? I've lost my phone," until she realized it was half wedged into her top. They started talking to us and I decided to make sure they got home safe. They didn't want to pay for an Uber and wanted to walk home despite not being able to walk and not being able to operate their phones. I insisted that they order it and did it for them. I also decided to wait to order mine because they were extremely vulnerable and unwise, probably recently 18. While this is happening, a very sketchy looking dude with a weird look in his eye comes up to us. He asks us if we want to go to an after party and mentions his Uber is on the way. I politely refuse for all of us and he kind of hangs around looking at the girls and looking towards the entrance of the club. His Uber van style people carrier with a sliding door pulls up. He opens the door and says nothing to the driver, suggests we come to the party again, waits for an uncomfortable amount of time and realizes we are not going to come, closes the Uber door without saying anything to the driver, and the Uber drives off. He then makes his way back up to the club. He was in the club that night and probably followed the women out, but unfortunately for him, they got talking to me. Yo, angels were literally on these girls' sides, okay? Like, they sent this man there. What a good guy. He literally looked out for them. Man, this is why if you're gonna go out to get like shit-faced drunk, make sure one of you guys are still sober. Right? There was a guy who would come out and shout at us in the play park for being too loud. We used to be cheeky back and he would end up pointing an air rifle at us. As kids, we found it funny and thought he was full of shit. He ended up murdering his wife by bashing her head in with a hammer. Yo! Yeah, that's scary, dude. This is why you don't mess with crazy. I enjoy a beer at a bar by myself from time to time, either to just be alone or maybe chat with the bartender if they're feeling social. Occasionally, I'll get some unwanted attention, but usually a casual mention of my boyfriend get folks to buzz off without an issue. One time, I was at the little dive bar by my house. A guy sat next to me, started chatting with me, friendly stuff, nothing too forward. Didn't even catch his name. Then he goes, "You live at my address, yes? Unit number 1 on the corner?" I lived in an apartment complex. My unit was indeed number 1 on the corner. I had never seen this man before. I got a sinking this is a good feeling. "No," I replied. "I'm sorry, you must have mistaken me for someone else." His demeanor changed immediately. He twisted towards me with this really annoyed look. He responded, "No, I see you. I always see you. You live there." His tone was this mix of frustrated and offended. He was just glaring at me, waiting for me to respond. Insert "I'm in danger" Ralph meme. I bumbled out, "Nope, don't live there." One more time, paid my bill and bounced. I was nervous to go home, so I went to a friend's who gave me some pepper spray just in case. Thankfully, I never saw him again. I moved out of that apartment soon after, which I was already considering, but this gave me the push. Ah, that's so scary. He was literally like, "I always see you." So he's been eyeing her every day or something. Oh, dude, you never know who you're gonna come across, right? The fact that she didn't even know about this person, right? But he knew so much about her. It's like, what was he doing? How did he know which one she lived in? Like, was he like counting the lights? Like, he was watching her walk in and then the lights turned on and he was like, "Yep, that's her." Scary, 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 scary. Pretty sure my dog saved me from a dangerous encounter. I was very pregnant and was leaving the grocery store with my cart. Lexi was waiting for me in the car. She loved the car rides when the weather was good. So I was loading up the groceries and realized that a man I had seen sitting in a car before I went into the store was still there and was watching me. He got out of his car and asked if I needed assistance, which I get. I was very pregnant. It was the polite thing to do, but something about it immediately put me on alert. I was completely unnerved by him and still can't state exactly what it was. I said, "No thanks, I've got it," but he continued to get out of his vehicle and walk towards my car. Lexi had been snuggled up on the front seat and must have heard there was some concern in my voice or something. Dude continued to walk my direction, claiming he just wanted to help. I continued to say no. I don't need help, no worries. As the man approached the hatch of my vehicle, where I was loading the groceries, Lexi sprang up from the front seat, leapt over the back seat and jumped to the cargo area, and started growling and baring her teeth. It was dark and she was an all-black dog, so she seemingly appeared from nowhere. That was the only thing that made the dude back up and leave. He started cursing at me, calling me names for not accepting his help, and for letting my dog threaten him. I will say thank goodness it was dark because Lexi was a cardigan Welsh corgi that was all black and was far less intimidating looking in the daylight. She looked like a black lab puppy, but had super short stumpy little legs. She stayed right by my ankles the rest of the night once we were home and will not let me out of her sight. Ah! Oh my gosh. What a creep though. Sarah's like, she don't need your help. Leave her alone. See, all these stories about pregnant ladies getting targeted. They're more vulnerable, so I guess psychos feel like, you know, they're the best to target on. I don't know. I love how it's always like the small dogs or like small looking dogs, the dogs that don't look very harmful. They think they're the beast, okay? They're not scared of anything, alright? Well, that's it for the video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Tell me in the comments down below what your thoughts are. And as always, thanks for watching. Hope you guys liked it, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!